So what happens when we do the electrolysis thing? I've done it many times, and I've always wondered what happens to the anode. This is this timing gear, I've used it many times on engine block, uh, see, intake manifold, exhaust manifolds, valve covers, oil pans, you name it. I've used it a lot, and I like it because it's thick metal, and it's got a lot of surface area in between these gears, and here, and here. But does electrolysis attack the underlying metal, or is it just merely a coating on top that just come right off? So today I'm going to do it backwards. I'm going to use the anode as a cathode and put another anode in here, see if I can transfer all this rust off and make it bright shiny new metal, or is it corrupted in some way? Well, we'll find out here on Travel Monkeys. Stay tuned. Okay, I decided to move indoors because of the wind noise and the sirens, and my neighbor decided to mow his lawn at the time I started. No big deal. Today's guest anode is an old bob weight from a cuckoo clock, chosen for a large surface area here in this pine cone shape, but mainly because it was handy. And you can see the timing gear in place. Now, there's a washing soap. Some people measure this out carefully. I just kind of eyeball it. I just use a dash. Maybe another dash. Yeah, I've found that if I use too much, it's no big deal. It just all falls out of suspension, and if I don't use enough, there won't be a quick enough reaction or any reaction at all. So I don't use any scientific measurements or anything. I just throw some in there. But we'll get this hooked up, see how it cooks, and go from there. As you can see, things are going kind of slowly, but there are a few bubbles starting to form. I don't think it'll take as long in this little container as it did in that one. You can see the goo left over. I've got to clean it out. But that was from an exhaust manifold for an inline 6. Anyway, we'll check back with this thing in a few hours and then 24 hours and see what happens. It's a little dark, but after about 2.5 hours, you kind of see something going on. Bubbling over by the cuckoo clock piece. Just barely make out the top of the gear here. So we'll see what it's like overnight. Ew. Look at all that foamy rust. I think I'm going to take it loose and see just where we're at right now. It's not shiny, but it's definitely taking that rust off it. Put it in there a couple more hours and take it out and clean it up. So here she is. I took it out, kind of wiped it down with some steel wool. Most of what you see here that looks like rust is flash rust, but look in there, see if you can see it. The keyway to drive the cam and everything. It's not really altered, but this machine surface here that fits under the nose of the cam gets you to where it's a little better. It's a little worse for wear, but I believe this would work. You could put it on. I don't know why you'd want to. See how it's starting to flake in places. This was a machined, had machine surfaces, but it was kind of as cast, and now it's taking on more of a black appearance, and you can see some chunks coming off. So I'd say, yeah, the electrolysis process does alter the anode permanently. A lot of chunks and flakes that come off of here. Let's see. that's just not rust attached to it. Those are, I believe that's altered. And I'm sure I could dig down enough and get to shiny metal again, but it's created pits almost looks like cast iron. Anyway, satisfies my curiosity. Yes, electrolysis does attack the anode. Kind of sacrifices itself to get the other good stuff that you want clean. Alright, that's it. Take care. Hey, decided I'll just do a little bit more for graphic demonstration. These are two wheel bearing races. They were brand new before I used them as anodes. I'm going to put one in an electrolysis bath here for a little bit. See if I can get some of that rust off. Kind of reverse the process. Just to see how much damage there would be to these things. And I'll leave the other alone. So we'll see what's going on here. Looks like it's cooking along pretty good. Let's go ahead and disconnect this thing. Take it out and see what it looks like initially. Ah. Compare it to that one. That's what it looked like before. We'll get her washed down and see what happens. Here we go. This is what started out as a nice shiny bearing race. Became an anode. Had a lot of rust attached to it. Then I removed the rust. As you can tell, it's a lot worse for wear. This was nice and smooth. I've scraped this stuff and it doesn't come loose. Not easily. And you can see that bearing race in there. Focus. A little scored and pitted. So, to answer the question, yes, definitely. The electrolysis process alters the metal of the anode. So, now you know in case you were ever wondering. Lester's Fixins. I'm not sponsored by this guy, but artificially flavored bacon soda. Yeah, all get your fixins. Yes, I'm gonna have to taste this. Smells somewhat like a cross between bacon and burning coal. Does not taste like bacon. At all. Oh, sorry.